What episode is this?
This is
233?
you asked me this question as we go live. 234, right?
234.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're live. So
Oh, good, because I'm ready.
all right, good.
Anthony,
Darren,
it's episode 234.
it is.
Love and Chokes podcast. I am
Mm-mm.
in Vegas. Though you see the flag,
Yes.
it is clear that my heart is still in Cleveland and always will be. Um, you are in Cleveland
Yes.
for now.
For now, time will tell when I will be allowed to make my stay in Vegas. Hopefully soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hopefully soon. I don't. I'm trying to clear up all these meetings and being like, hey, you don't
Well,
need
man.
me for a month. I'm just gonna be in Vegas. You guys can just. I'll just do my work from there, and
Yeah.
I'll just hang out with cool fighter people, and you guys
It's
can
like
mock me.
I can work from there.
Yeah,
Don't worry. I can do this job from home.
yeah. It's like I already do.
That fucking scene in Fight Club when he's like, he goes and blackmails his boss, and he's like, I'm gonna need some flight coupons. And my job is for me never to tell people these horrible things I know.
Yes,
Don't worry, I can do this job from home.
yes. Safe and sound.
Cool, man. Let's see. This weekend there's an upcoming UFC,
Mm-hmm.
and I lose track of these things because they come so quickly.
Right.
Like they're always happening. There's always an event every fucking weekend, it seems like. But I was kind of like snapped back into realizing that, oh shit, people are fucking getting ready to go. Like we get to the PI today, to the UFC Performance Institute, if you're new to the podcast, and I see Dan Ige just looking skinny as fuck, looking strong, and he trains over at Extreme Couture, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably fucking flying out of here today.
Yeah.
He's got to go do all the fight week shit, and yeah, and he looks great. I was like, oh shit, cool, man. It's fight week, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's on the fucking John Jones card. Like it all just kind of clicks,
Mm-hmm.
like because there's all these fights always looming, you know.
Yeah.
And part of me thought that Super Bowl week was the same week of this upcoming UFC card. I thought that John Jones was fighting last week, and they're like, nah, guys, they're like, nah, dude, it's the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
no one would do any event the same weekend as the Super Bowl if you wanted to be successful. Like no one would do that.
Have they done that in the past?
I think people like have paired little tiny things or little tiny moments, but not whole events. So here's an example. I know that Vince McMahon had, at least on 2 occasions, had matches during the Super Bowl halftime.
Mm.
So he would try and draw some of the audience from the halftime show, right? But did you watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
I did not watch any of the Super Bowl.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so 20-something of you. You untethered, no TV having ass motherfucker.
No, but I did hear about Tim Kennedy was like he made a tweet or post or was like, hey, I'm not judging these women, but it's like, is this what we should be like, showing our kids? Like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's wrong or sexist or anything like that, but it's like there's a lot of booty shaking that my daughters had to see.
Look, Tim, it's 8 o'clock. Put your kids to fucking bed. I love you, bro. Like, I have so much respect for Tim, but like, it's prime time. And during prime time, they didn't show anything super crazy.
No.
Yeah, there's gonna be some booty shaking. Yeah. And I think we need to accept that booty shaking is now a part of American culture.
Yeah.
I shook my booty
Okay.
on my Instagram.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I did my
guys.
best because I went to a little Super Bowl like event thing with Jess, took us out, and it was really nice. And while we were sitting there, and the butt shaking begins, instantly we're like, okay, so whose butt? Like Shakira or J-Lo? Like it's a real question.
Yeah.
It's a real question, and we decided that we're all on Team Shakira.
Yeah.
Shakira held it down, and like you don't have to be into football because this motherfucking that halftime show is available on YouTube on NFL's channel, and probably has like 100 million views by now.
Yeah.
And it has everything to do with butts. Like, let's just come to terms with that. Like, and the chest pops. Let's not act like Shakira wasn't doing all that. But here's the other thing I realized. I feel like there's a formula to doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
And I think I have it figured out. What you need a minimum of 5 absolute global hits to do the Super Bowl halftime show. And if you have 5 absolute undeniable motherfucking bangers, like not like 5 good songs. Every fucking asshole just like me thinks we have 5 good songs, right? But I mean like global bangers. If you have 5 undeniable number 1 hits, then you can do the Super Bowl halftime show. And every time these things happen, it jogs my memory as to like, man, like these people really are stars. Like they really do have a lot of hits, and they've been famous for a long time. Like I don't think of Jennifer Lopez as a singer. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I think of her as like a whole entity. Like because I remember when she was, I don't want to say just, but when she was just a fly girl on In Living Color. Like that's not a trivia thing that I know about. That's like something I watched growing up, right? So I never saw her as a Laker girl, right? That's like a part of her. Like, no, maybe she wasn't a Laker girl. Maybe that's Paula Abdul's story. Like, but J-Lo was a fucking fly girl on In Living Color, which was like a very, very popular black sketch comedy show, essentially, right?
Yeah.
It could be called urban,
Urban.
if you will. If we want to be cunty and fucking left wing about it, it was an urban show, right? But it was a black show with mostly black comics, and it was like kind of hip hop influenced. It was like kind of countercultural to Saturday Night Live, right? And just like they had a band for Saturday Night Live, like they've always had a band, the dude with the guitar and the saxophone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From SNL. What they had for In Living Color was a DJ called SW1, who was just Sean Wayans. And they had the Fly Girls, who were these dancers. That was their like, we're about to go to commercial entertainment thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a really alternative thing at the time. It was pretty cutting edge. And Jennifer Lopez was on that, but that's not how she got famous, right? She ended up getting some movie roles and shit like that. So I think of her as like an all-around entertainer. But I don't think like, oh yeah, she's got all these fucking bangers. Like, she had some fucking huge hits. She had a nice a nice string of them. And it's nice to be reminded of like stupid shit like that. Like I had fun. I had fun being an American. You untethered piece of shit.
Good for you, man. I mean, this is the only time you want to be part of the culture. So you know what? You should have that one day of the year. So good for you. Good for you. I'm happy you want to show up the one day where everybody else shows up. I'm so happy for you.
It was fun, dude. I'd do it again. I will. Next Super Bowl, I'll do it again. I'll act like a regular American. I was cheering for stuff. I made a fucking prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm just a regular heterosexual man.
Oh man, it's changing. Life's changing for Darren.
No, slow down.
No.
It was just a weekend. It was just a win.
No.
But yeah, I did think that was happening. I thought John fought last week. So I was kind of getting amped for a fight that never happened. And then it was like, oh no, it's next week, Darren. And I was like, fuck. Like I was like so mad disappointed. But now it's starting to build again.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to get excited again. And I think people are getting that like nervousness that comes with a big fight where they're like, oh, can John do it? Can John do it? And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is what John does.
Every day, all the time.
Like, this is what John does. John's going to walk through Dominic Reyes. It's going to be anticlimactic. It's going to be round 2. He finishes him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be sudden and it won't look like anything. It won't look like anything to us. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's actually funny? I think the Conor finish was kind of anticlimactic. And it could have been, and I'm talking about Conor's finish with Cowboy, which sounds absurd. Like, if you finish somebody in 40 seconds of the first round, you would think that every single one of those 40 seconds would be blistering excitement. But there was a period where I think they were trying to give Cowboy time to demonstrate that he could come back, and he just didn't. And Conor kept the pressure on him, but didn't do anything spectacular during that time period. So there's like 15 of those 40 seconds where nothing spectacular is happening. Just excellence is continuing. Where you're just staying over him and keeping the pressure on him and demonstrating that the fight is over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, you could say that's anticlimactic. I think it's going to be similar to that, but much less entertaining. I think there's going to be very little that happens in the first round. I think John's going to find his bearings. He's going to move around with his hands a lot. He's going to throw that little sidekick out there. He's gonna see something he likes. In the second round, he's gonna fuck him up, and it's gonna be over. And it's gonna be kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's it then, and that's it. That's gonna be the whole fight.
Yeah, and hopefully they just move him right up to heavyweight. He said, "Come on, man. You know, Stipe's taking too long."
I don't think he's in any hurry to do that. Did
He's-
you see his interview with Ariel?
No.
I don't want to say what he said because I don't know what he said. I don't remember. I was pretty high. Here's what I'm saying. I left with the impression that he didn't feel any pressure to go up to heavyweight. That it was something that he plans on doing at some point, but was like, nah, it could be years from now. Like, I'm cool. He was like, Corey Anderson's coming up the pipe. He's like, there's dudes coming up at 205 that I'm going to end up having to beat up.
Who?
I mean, all right, so we got this young man, Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson
Yes.
is doing quite well. So that would be the current opponent and probably your next opponent if you win. And there was one other guy he named.
Jan Blachowicz?
No.
Volkan? Alexander Ragic?
Nope, he didn't name him.
Johnny Walker?
Yep. Johnny Walker.
Number 11.
I mean, but he's coming up the pipe, though. This is what I'm saying. Like, at one point, I just watched an old fight of Conor when Conor was number 12.
Yeah.
And so when he was number 12, he was saying all that shit about how he was already the champion. Right? So it's like, you can't look at that ranking and not recognize that you're only seeing today. And that, like, in 3 fights, that number 12, like, in this very home, the motherfucker that provides life for all of us here, fucking, she went from 9 to 1.
Yeah.
Like, shit can happen.
I agree
Like,
with you.
so those rankings are very, very fluid, man. So, like, that number 11 ranking, if he fucks somebody up brutally, he could be number 3. And number 3 can essentially be number 1 often. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, what is Reyes? Reyes is like number 4.
Yeah, number 4. Corey Anderson.
He's fighting for the fucking belt. So
Yeah.
you don't have to be number 1 to be essentially and effectively what number 1 is. Get the title shot.
Right. No, I agree. That's fair, but this is what I'm saying. Johnny Walker's still looking for a home right now. He don't even know where he's trying to land. So we got to wait a while for him to even find where his house is going to be. That's number 1.
What do you mean?
He's still looking. He doesn't even know where he's going to go train at.
Man, he don't need to train for some of these bums. Like, he's gonna come out there and slap the head off somebody else before John slaps the head off of him. Like, I don't see him getting past John Jones.
Yeah.
It's just too many weapons, too much experience. I mean, John's gonna be great for a long time.
Hopefully.
I really think that, and I think just when you think, oh man, has he lost a step? That's when you make the transition to heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's when you go to heavyweight. For sure. Where the opponents are a hair slower, like physically,
Yeah.
are a hair slower, and you can implement your dynamic game plan and feel dynamic again. You know? Like, the second that it looks like, oh man, maybe I'm not as fast as I used to be or as strong as I used to be. He also brought up the fact that Daniel Cormier, and I'm talking about John Jones and his conversation with Ariel, he brought up the fact that Daniel Cormier has been on the record in saying that John Jones felt remarkably strong to him, surprisingly strong. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And Cormier has fought the best heavyweights, some of the biggest heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Josh fucking Barnett. He fought Bigfoot Silva.
Picked him up and slammed him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That guy was like, you know who's strong? John Jones is pretty fucking strong. You know?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of compliments I'm looking for in this world. Like today, very briefly, my fucking man Bo said, oh, that was a pretty nice bar path. And like my heart was like,
Yeah. I'm getting it, coach.
so then I started studying my bar path. I fucking recorded it. Because I'm lifting really light today. Today I lifted, guess what I squatted today? You'd laugh.
Probably not 220.
All right, so first set doesn't count. First set's just the bar, right?
Yeah.
My next set was 95 pounds.
Oh.
My next set, 115 pounds. My next set, 135 pounds. My next set 145, and my final and heaviest set was 155, all for reps of 5.
Okay.
Strong.
Hey.
Well, I'm doing 2 things. One, I was testing those weightlifting shoes for the first time
Yeah.
and feeling how to use them properly. And I did okay with them. They felt really, really great. But I need to improve. But they felt great. I really enjoyed them. But yeah, I was lifting light. Also, like, we have to be cautious of this lower back thing. Like it's very, very tempting to put a shitload of weight on the bar and try to impress myself or push myself, right? It's very tempting to do that. That's what I want to fucking do all the time.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, even today, I was like, man, I guess I'm going to go to a top set of 155. And Bo's like, hey, man, every day doesn't have to be heavy. And I'm like,
Who told you that? So, yeah.
look, just because you're an expert, Bo.
That doesn't mean you get it.
Because I look up to you. Just because I basically listen to everything that I can. Don't be fucking...
Don't hurt my dreams, dude.
Yeah, I wanna lift heavy all the time. It's just the most fun for me. But it's not necessarily the healthiest choice. And like sometimes, like today, it was good just to think about technique and body position and not worry about like, man, am I gonna be able to do this weight?
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was benching and I did some bro-y shit, you know? It's like, yo,
Hanging out with Casey too much.
let's do triples, dog. And let's do a top set at 200 pounds. 200-pound triple.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying.
140-pound man.
You're hanging out with a guy who's like half your age and you're trying to keep up with him.
Keep up. You son of a bitch. I'm pulling the sled. I'm not keeping shit up. So I'm not going to rat on Casey and say what he lifted and what he didn't lift.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bury Casey. But I could. Now, here's what I will say. At that top set of 200, I failed.
Yeah.
Now, how many do you think? What did you think happened? Tell me what happened. At 200 pounds.
You probably got halfway to your third, and then you thought the weight was too heavy, and then you stopped.
Oh, I wish that was it. Because then I could at least tell myself that I had it.
Yeah.
So I press it twice. No bullshit. Easy.
Okay. All right. That was close.
Easy. Then the third one, I misplaced the bar, and it gets stuck like right away.
Oh.
Just shitty bar path, shitty position, shitty technique, no rep. Like, gone. Please get this off me. Like it didn't get stuck on my chest, but it was like 2 inches off my chest. It was horrible.
Gotcha.
Horrific. I did a very bad job. But I almost got my triples. If I had gotten triples at 200, I would have walked around with my shirt off for the rest of this week. Like, it would have been all, my podcast today would have been all nipples and teeth. That's all you would have seen. Just a smile and no shirt. Just like the happiest guy.
Pecs.
Dude, sometimes you gotta show your pecs.
Yeah. I feel you.
I've been working on these tips. I get back in my ring dip game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Bo hooked it up. Bo brought out the rings for me.
Nice.
And I've re-entered the ring dip game.
Yeah.
But I tiptoed in. So I'm not going crazy. I want to make sure I don't hurt myself. So I'm just doing sets of 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 sets of 5.
5 sets of 5. We need to get Darren on that yoga so he can get his back better. Darren doesn't believe in yoga, though.
Look.
Doesn't believe in stretching.
It's not that I don't believe in yoga. It's just that I think yoga is probably more effective as a spiritual practice. And there's little aspects of it that we do. But we do that in everything. So, like, before I work out today, I had my feet on the wall, which is obviously not yoga, but I'm rotating my hips underneath me and doing a bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting all that stuff connected together. And then I was doing essentially yoga, like cat back and fucking downward dog type shit, all just like to get the lower back together, right? But that doesn't mean I have to go into a room with a bunch of people in dumb clothes that smell like farts their stupid bottles of water and their dumb towels and their dumb yoga mats. Like, I don't want to do
I
any of
agree
that.
with you. I agree with you. But you know, you could just it's called like a challenge for yourself. It's like
I don't want to meet new friends, Anthony.
I understand it's not meeting new friends. It's called gaining more patience.
Can't I just like get private lessons? Can I just get like a cute girl who knows yoga to
No,
come over here and teach me yoga?
because I know the game. I know the mind games, the hypnotism. It's the hypnotism. It's like hypnotism. You hypnotize them, and no yoga's gonna get done. You just smoke some weed, and it's gonna be at the end of the day.
No.
All right,
She's disciplined. Our make believe yoga girl.
make believe yoga.
She's excessively disciplined. She's gonna come over here and she's gonna be like, "Hello, Mr. Branch." She's never gonna call me Darren.
Yeah,
Just, "Hello, Mr. Branch. It's time for your yoga lesson." It's gonna be a lesson too.
yeah. I still say you
I
should.
don't want it to be a workout.
No,
I would
dude.
do it if it were a lesson.
No, dude, you should go to a yoga studio because then I know you would start trying to show off a little bit.
What?
You'd be stretching the positions that you wouldn't stretch. Like, dude, when I did it, the first yoga class that I went to, I was bored out of my mind. But when I saw that, like, what? I could outstretch these dudes. This is my first day here. You know what I did? I tried to touch my own butthole. I tried to go as hard as I could. I was trying to make it work, and I'm like, I got the instructor to look at me wearing my shorts. You'd have loved it, man. You'd have loved that atmosphere, the attention.
Look, man, I'm not gonna go in there and be Johnny Tryhard. Fuck these people. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly. So fuck these people. That's my point. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's
Fuck
what-
these people.
Exactly, man. It's like
Get in there and kick their ass.
let them know. They're like, yeah, man. I do agree. I do not like the. You know, it's time to be quiet and think. Like, nah, man. Let's talk. What did you do today at work? I want to know what's up. What do you got planned for dinner?
No, I'm cool with it if it's like, see, man, I just don't want to be around a whole bunch of people because if there's 50 people in your yoga class, like most of those people are just weirdos.
So
And I don't want to deal with that. I just want to have one lady come over and teach me the position. Also, like, I don't want to be doing it wrong.
and
So I don't want like,
what's your point? You mean, what? You don't want to look like a human being?
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, no, what I'm saying is I don't like, it's the same reason why I liked training with Matt because most of my lessons were private lessons, even though it wasn't scheduled that way, right? It's like, I like the fact that I wasn't doing shit wrong when I didn't know what I was doing because he was right there. If there's 50 people, you got to go touch and da 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 da. You're never going to really help me. Like,
All
it's
right,
not
we can find you some semi-private yogas. There we go. That's what Darren. That's all I heard was find me a semi-private yoga class. That's what I'm looking for.
I would consider it if it were semi-private, but I would do it if it were private.
Of course you would.
Of course you would.
Of course you would.
You son of a bitch.
Anyway, let's get on to some. Let's see. We see some weird MMA news. John Jones
It's
is gonna.
blended.
Huh? No.
You said weird MMA.
I didn't mean to. Except
You know what is weird?
that the
We
Mirlock
could go
showing
weird
up.
MMA news. We could talk about that girl that got fucking pile driven today
Oh, you mean
on the internet.
you mean
The tiger driver.
Oh, let me pull this up for the YouTube viewers, and let me.
I mean,
silence-
just the sound, Anthony.
Oh, I'm turning off
the
the sound for that
The
reason alone.
sound. Can you tell them how to find it then? Tell
Uh,
them how to find the video and then
mean-
kill the sound.
Just ouch! Chick gets dropped on her neck during a fight. It's on World Star Hip Hop. You can just Google that; it'll pop up. Let me display it for you guys. Let's see.
It is. I mean, technically, we deal in elevations and slams of human beings, and it's one of the most horrific slams in the street I've ever seen in my life. Like, in my whole life. And I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a few really good ones in person. I saw a freestyle, like a world-class wrestler back arch a stranger onto a curb. I saw that in New Jersey. I was just a child when I saw that. So up until the point where I saw the current video that we're watching right now, that was the worst I might ever seen. But man, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
There was a football player named Don Beebe who played for the Giants, I believe, the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a situation where he got hit and turned upside down and landed directly on the top of his head and bounced off of the top of his head. and everyone thought he was fucking paralyzed or dead. He was straight. And I think that game where he landed on his head, and BB is spelled Bebe.
BBE. Yeah, no, I see. Lands on head.
I think he might have been playing the Cleveland Browns.
He definitely was.
Look at this shit. The memories that get stuck inside this little mind.
Yes. All right, Mr.
But
Darren.
it was a football time.
It was.
So of course, football memories will kind of bump up in my brain.
Yes.
Do you have a piece of weird news?
Where'd it go? I did. Where'd it go?
I know that you've got to get swole, Anthony.
I gotta get swole. That is correct. Oh man, what happened to my weird news? Let me pull it up real quick.
You're like, God damn it! Where the fuck did my weird news go? It was so weird too. I was so ready. It's like, are you prepared for class, Anthony? Are you prepared?
I was prepared, but then my dog ate my homework.
If you had kept your fucking homework in your trapper keeper.
Oh, how about this? How about the weird news is that one of our homies, or one of your homies in particular, that used to have like little children that do jujitsu with you. He's one of the Mats. He got visited to a person that had the coronavirus, like in his job. So the person came through his job and visited him while.
Oh shit!
Yeah. But
so the coronavirus, he's been exposed.
No, he hasn't been exposed. The guy, I think the timelines were screwy. So when they called, I don't know who it was, FBI, the CDC, whoever called him, they were wanting to know when the guy came by because I guess it was right before he got the virus, so he just narrowly missed it.
Oh, that's so gnarly.
Let's see.
The coronavirus. No, all right? Let's keep it real. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Okay.
Is it a very severe flu? What is it?
That's what I've been told, but we can look it up real quick. Coronavirus.
I'm like, all right, truth be told, I don't know what the fuck the coronavirus is. Because there's always one of these things, right? I don't want to say always, but these things happen from time to time, these kind of outbreaks. And then they always show people like, well, this person got on this plane, and it terrifies everyone. And it's like, I'm just not going to pay attention. Sorry. You guys can freak out by yourselves.
So it's basically like pneumonia, viral pneumonia.
Okay. So it's viral pneumonia.
Yeah.
And pneumonia is fluid inside your lungs, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's going to come across like it's a bad cough until you die?
Pretty much basically if you have like these symptoms like, coughing, fever, shortness of breath, kidney.
If you have fever, wait, slow down.
Yeah.
If you have symptoms, like coughing,
yeah,
then you might have corona.
Yes, exactly. That's the advice I give you. We are not a news service. We're not a doctor's service.
That's so funny.
But basically,
that's so funny.
It'll come on. Basically, if you've been in China in the last 14 days, or you ran into somebody who got it, you'll start getting like this coughing, fever, shortness of breath, and then you'll start feeling like kidney failures.
All right, this makes a lot more sense because someone that I know, who I won't name, but they're in like the MMA community.
Mm-hmm.
He was posting a lot of like cartoons that looked racist to me, right? Because I don't know what's going on in the world, and I was like, when did my man just start hating Chinese people? Because it was like pictures of people holding down Chinese people and spraying them with Lysol.
Oh Jesus!
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's really aggressive, dog. Like, but whatever.
It's a disease, man. Don't worry about it.
I saw him in the hallway today, and I hugged him. I was happy to see him. So, like, I don't really care if you're racist, apparently. Like, I was ready to let that shit slide. But now I know. Now I know that I wasn't hugging a bigot, just a dude with a funny sense of humor. But, for the record, I was pleased to do either. Anthony?
Yes.
I think you should go pick up those heavy things.
I will do that.
I think you should pick them up. And do you have weightlifting shoes yet?
I do not. I will not get
weightlifting because I'm cooler than you.
Hey, man, whatever you need. Whatever you need to help you get better. I'm doing it with the earth.
Shit. All right, I'm going to teach a jiu-jitsu class. And I'm kind of psyched about it, actually.
Nice.
And then after that, I think I'm going to sleep for about 3 days.
There you go.
And
because did you get the coronavirus?
And then restart my day.
There you go.
I'm watching Casey Smith get smaller and smaller.
Oh.
We'll have him on the podcast, I think, for the next episode. We'll talk about what he has coming up. He's fighting not this weekend, but the same weekend as Valentine's Day. weekend, and I'm happy to have something to do on Valentine's Day that's not sit around and think about dead girls. Anthony, this is goodbye for real. I will talk to you very, very soon.
Yes.
Goodbye, Internet. XOXO.